Happy Monday! Today we will be on page 520 because I want to quickly do the problem solving question with you. I think it's very appropriate considering we just finished our unit on stars. So I am going to start off on 520 and then we'll end up at the end of lesson 97. So it says Josh watched the night sky from 9 to 10 during the meteor shower. He saw twice as many meteors after 9:30 as he saw before 9:30. Josh counted 24 meteors altogether. How many meteors did Josh see before 9:30? Okay, so we're going to read this another time because I think that parts of this can get confusing, and I really wanted to work with word problems this week, so this is perfect. So Josh watched a night sky from 9 to 10. That is important information, but we don't have to write it down because it's not confusing. He just watched it from 9 to 10. So he saw twice as many meteors after 9:30. So he saw a certain amount of meteors right here. Let's do this one. He saw a certain amount of meteors before 9:30. Then he saw two times more after 9:30. Okay, so if Josh saw a certain amount of meteors, and then he says this number times a certain amount, you have to look at the 24 altogether. So 24 meteors altogether. That means that we have to break these into 3 pieces, and I'll tell you why. This section right here says that it's 2 times more than this section. If this section right here is 2 times more than the section above, then this section only has 1 piece of 24 and this section has 2 pieces. So if I split 24 into 3 pieces, basically asking what times 3 equals 24, I'm going to get an answer of 8. So how many meteors did Josh see before 9:30? The answer is 8 because we're going to need to save this 8 and this 8 for later, making a total of 16. Okay, I hope that made sense. Again, if you need to rewatch it, go ahead and rewind this video, and I'm going to move on to the beginning of this next lesson on multiplying 3-digit numbers. And since we've already touched on this a little bit, we should be so confident today, and I am ready to see what skills you have, class. So let me go ahead and read the top, like we always do, and then we will do example 1 together. Okay. To help them estimate the number of pennies in a full jar, Chad and Jody filled up 1 jar with pennies. Then they put 234 pennies in a second jar that is a similar size. The second jar is only partly filled, and you can see that. They even split it up for you to see how many pieces, different parts of 234 make up that smaller jar. The second jar is only partly filled. Chad and Jody estimate that they would need 4 times as many pennies to fill the second jar completely. So they estimate that the number of pennies in the full jar is about 4 times 234. And you can see too, they're like pretty accurate, guys, because a fourth of the jar is filled with pennies. But if we multiply it by 4, the whole thing would be filled. So I think that this is a pretty accurate guess. Remember when we were talking about, is it accurate or is it not accurate? I'd say this is pretty accurate. So if we multiply 234, like they're asking, times 4, we will get our answer of how many pennies we actually need. So remember, we always multiply every number by this number on the bottom right side. Don't forget that, okay? All right, 4 times 4 is 16. Put down the 6, carry the 1. Then we do 3 times 4 is 12, plus 1 is 13. And then we have 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9, making our total 936. And I know that they already had it, but I just wanted to show you how they got that answer. And again, this should not be a new concept for you. However, I do want to keep drilling this fact of multiplication because, again, you should be pros at multiplication by now, but this is not going anywhere. You will use multiplication for a very long time, forever. I still use multiplication, even if I'm not teaching. Okay, example number 1. Find the product. Again, the product is an answer to a multiplication question, so they're just asking us to find the product of 8 times 125. So I like to put the bigger number on top. That's just a way for me to organize. You can do it the other way, but it's easier to do it when the bigger number's on top. So let's just put the bigger number on top. So again, we're going to multiply every number by this guy right here first before we add any remainders or anything like that. All right, switch back to red. 5 times 8 is 40. Put down the 0, carry the 4. 2 times 8 is 16, plus 4 is 20. And if you see how fast I'm answering these, remember, you have to know your multiplication facts in order to answer these questions. 8 times 1 is 8, plus 2 is 10, making our answer making our product 1,000. And there's nothing that it says. It just says multiply the two numbers. It doesn't say that it's ducks, cows, tennis balls, anything. It just says please multiply these, so you don't actually have to write any units behind it. So 1,000 was our answer. Let's do another one. You should become almost second nature on this. Ready? Let's do example 2, and then I'll have you do the lesson practice on page 522. Excellent work today, guys. I know that first problem solving was kind of a doozy, but I'm proud of you. Keep working hard, guys. All right, example number 2. This one actually has units. It looks like we're talking about pennies, so our answer is going to include pennies, but let's read it together. Chad compared the full penny jar with a jar that had 308 pennies. He thought the full jar had 7 times as many pennies, so he multiplied 308 times 7. What is the product? Okay, so 308 times 7, and again, I'm just going to repeat this because it's okay. You're going to multiply every single number by this 7 down here. Okay, 8 times 7 is 56. Put down the 6, carry the 5. 0 times 7 is 0, plus 5 is 5. And then we have 3 times 7 is 21. And whoa, we've actually probably have not done many of these. I think the last one was you put down 2 digits, but if there's nothing left to multiply, guys, I forgot to say this in the last one, you go ahead and put 21 just by itself, and it becomes an answer of 2,156 pennies. Okay, remember, you always write down your units. Make sure you do not forget those. Okay? All right, go ahead and answer the lesson practices on page 522, and we will see you again tomorrow.